What's up, everybody out there in computer land? It's Aftermath on YouTube. My name is Nug. How are you? I'm fine. And we've got Kevin, Jimmy, and Iceland coach Wolf Stanson joining us today for our wins for the week that was in WWE. We're going to get things started. Who am I starting with today? I can't even remember. There's so many good things. I'm going to start with me. My win comes from NXT and your new NXT champion, Leon Ruff. I can't say enough good things about what happened, not only because it reminded me of the 1-2-3 Kid beating Razor Ramon out of nowhere, but also everything leading up to it. Gargano's cursed by the wheel. Gargano fixes the wheel so that it will land on Leon Ruff, and Gargano loses to Leon Ruff, who then puts the title on, and he's too small for the title, and it slips down his legs to the ground. It's the greatest thing. I laughed so hard, and everybody at home going, who's Leon Ruff? Exactly. Anything can happen in NXT and WWE. I loved it.
That's the beautiful thing about it, Nug. It came out of nowhere. Who would have predicted going into this match that this would be the end result? And you made the perfect analogy. The 1-2-3 Kid versus Razor Ramon. Back then on that infamous Monday Night Raw from the Manhattan Center. Did anybody sense that the 1-2-3 Kid, this guy out of nowhere, this smaller guy out of nowhere, would beat the established Razor Ramon? Absolutely not. Sometimes surprises are good. Now it's all about what is next, but I'm enjoying the start. Let's put it that way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to 1-2-3 Ruff. This is the guy I've been waiting for.
I've been saying Ruff 2-3.
Ruff 2-3. That's actually better. Never mind.
Oh, okay.
Actually, no. I'm sticking with mine. 1-2-3 Ruff. I'm looking forward to seeing 1-2-3 Ruff. The reign of 1-2-3 Ruff. You know what? Just anything can happen on Wednesday nights, Friday nights here in Canada on Sportsnet 360, 7 o'clock. And I'm just going to keep on tuning in because what Triple H is doing down at NXT, I'm loving it. I'm always loving it. It's one of the things I like tuning in for every week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I saw a lot of comparisons. I went on Twitter and everyone was kind of tagging me because it was a come out of nowhere moment, which is great. I love the whole story, but it's a tough situation to follow up because if your success is based on miracle moments, you can't have miracle moments all the time, or else they're not special and they're not miracles. So he's going to have to do something, hopefully gain some weight and make himself look like he belongs without a miracle. And he has crowd support. He has personality. He has all the makings. He's just going to have to put on some weight to be believable, in my opinion.
If he wants to gain some weight, I know the perfect place he can come. He could come at my place, anyways.
Too much good cooking over there.
Yes, exactly.
Jimmy, other than the cooking at your place, you have a win for this week.
Absolutely, and mine also comes from NXT. And I enjoy guys who get on the microphone and get me invested. And Pat McAfee has been a standout on the microphone. You know, joining people like Orny. I can't even pronounce his name. Oni Lorcan, Danny Burch, and even Pete Dunne there. But I'm invested in these guys because of Pat McAfee. He's getting me interested. And I know in this day and age where it's cool to like guys who are bad, Pat McAfee, when he speaks, makes me want to see someone punch him in the mouth. And that's a good thing. It's a lost art these days. Instead of having someone get on the mic and say, and act all bad, and then you go, oh, that's kind of cool. He's not being cool. He's being a jerk. And I love it. It's very reminiscent of guys like Bobby Heenan, like Lou Albano, and guys like that when he was bad, Freddie Blassie. So good on you, Pat McAfee, doing a great job.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, what I was going to say there is I like Pat McAfee a lot too, because I was actually going to kind of bring up Bobby Heenan a little bit, because Bobby still could get in the ring and he could bump around if he needed to. Now we've seen that Pat McAfee, he can certainly do more than just bump around a little. He can actually put on a really, really good match, as evidenced by his match with Adam Cole. So yeah, Pat McAfee's really good, and I've actually been worried that someone's going to sign him off the street in the NFL, because punting in the NFL has been terrible. This is not an NFL show, but I thought Pat McAfee might actually get a call somewhere. Anyways, Anthony, do you want to say something? Go ahead.
Yeah, you know, I was on a show years ago, and he actually has my old coach Rip Rogers on his podcast quite a bit. So you take the athlete, and then you mix in someone who's really good, and like his podcast was great. And he was just really passionate about wrestling. So look at what you have there. You have an athlete. You have someone that's really good in terms of holding conversations, guiding the flow of conversations, and he has a love for wrestling. You boil that down, he just kind of wiggled his way sideways into the business, and all of a sudden he's here and he's doing really well. Sometimes people are just born for the business, and I think he's one of those guys that's just born for the business. And he's already a heel because he's a kicker anyway.
He uses his toes as well, not just the heel. I gotta say, for a guy who has a syndicated satellite radio show, like basically every day of the week he's talking, and then he gets into NXT and he's talking, he's got years of practice at it. You know, that 10,000 hours doing that one thing makes you really good at it. Boy can talk. And for three guys, Oni, Tui, and Pete Dunne, I honestly, those guys aren't known for talking, and they've got the perfect guy to do it for them. That guy talks for at least 4 people at the same time. Nice. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Pat expand his business, expand his group, and maybe try to take over most of NXT. I'm really looking forward to where it's going. We had a really great moment on Monday Night Raw, and Kevin, that's your win.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of like a combination of Monday Night Raw and SmackDown, actually, because it went back to SmackDown when Drew McIntyre first showed up. And I was going to say, I wasn't too sure about Drew showing up on SmackDown, especially so soon after the draft and how everything was supposed to be separated. And then all of a sudden we get a Monday Night Raw guy on a SmackDown show. And I was like, meh. But then the promo between McIntyre and Roman Reigns, I thought was so good. McIntyre was so good in just projecting what he thought was just Reigns being a piece of trash, Reigns coming back and telling him why he's not. And the interaction was amazing. And now the interaction actually pays off because we have a brand new WWE champion, and it's Drew McIntyre. Take it down, Randy Orton. I know a lot of people don't like the really short title reigns, but I think that McIntyre, that belt is great on him. It's really good. Drew McIntyre is a top guy. And now we get the match that I actually want to see because of a promo on SmackDown. We get Reigns versus McIntyre at Survivor Series. My win is a combination of all of that. In the end, Drew McIntyre, new WWE champion.
I find that very interesting, and I don't disagree with what you're saying. I was very entertained by it, but I still had a little bit of an issue with Friday Night SmackDown, which, as we call this in the business, a teaser I will get into in our fail segment.
Oh,
yeah. I thought the match last night on Raw was just awesome. I thought we saw the best in both guys. You know, when I saw the promo between Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre, I forgot Randy Orton was the champion for a second because I wanted to see that so bad. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, wait a second, Roman's facing Randy right now, which then I remembered is going to be an awesome match because it's Randy Orton, versus Roman Reigns. But part of me wanted to see Drew step in there. So we got the result. He's the champion. I think the placement of making me want to see Drew face Roman before he officially won the title was a little bit, out of place kind of thing.
Yep.
Foreshadow. Jimmy's teasing something there.
Yeah. Foreshadow.
What I liked about it, and it's awful to say this, but I'm glad Randy lost the title quickly because he can win it back quickly and really get close to that 16 times being champion.
Yes.
So the more times you lose it, the more times you can win it again. And he's up there in record territory with Flair and Cena, and that's where Randy Orton should be. So the fact that he lost it, he can win it again whenever he wants. I have a feeling Randy's going to have to deal with The Fiend. And then I also have a feeling, not to hamsters on the wheel here a little bit, but things are going too nicey nice backstage between Sheamus and Drew, and I wouldn't be too shocked to see Sheamus take a bite out of Drew, especially for that championship.
Setting him
my
up,
hamster's
maybe.
not very good. My hamster's kind of lazy, but he sees that one coming too.
Yeah.
Your hamster, is tired from the move, And,
with Randy, he did a promo last night too, and my daughter actually pointed it out. That the stereotypical "I'm the greatest, I'm the best," and it's kind of a generic promo you hear all over, from the independent scene right up to the pros, and everyone says they're the best, they're the best. But when Randy Orton says it, it's like, yeah, he actually is. He actually is the best.
Yeah,
he's telling the truth.
There's a difference in that tone.
Yeah, because he
Yeah.
touched on every reason why he's the best. But a short title reign for Randy is fine because right now for him it's just about those numbers.
Yeah.
And it's official.
My
14.
favorite generic promo of all time is "I'm not from here." That's my favorite. Anthony, you've got a win that also comes from Monday Night Raw, and this was very close to being my win as well.
Oh man, that tag team championship match. I was excited. I was nervous. I literally scooted up to the end of my seat. It just had everything. And I really thought that momentum was real and that they were the Hurt Business was gonna come away the tag team champions. And what a performance by both teams. And the finish, the double stomp, like a axe and smash demolition thing with the double stomp. My Lord.
Daybreak, they call it Daybreak.
Daybreak, right. It snapped Cedric in half. Even caught him on the chin too. So hopefully he didn't get his bell rung or anything. But what an athletic performance! You could see that the creativities, they were flowing and matching and synergy and all that good stuff. And man, I could never have a match like that.
I'll tell you what, I really enjoyed that tag team match, and without getting on a rant here, see what I did there. I love the fact that they were able to incorporate tag team rules and still being creative and still doing their job. You know what I mean? Because I think sometimes that gets away from some of the talent sometimes. But I thought the match was bangers. They had me guessing the whole time.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can go into a match and say, yeah, I can see who's going to win this match. This one, they had me guessing right up until the end. And bangers, and hats off to both teams.
I honestly thought the Hurt Business was going to win. And I thought commentary did a fantastic job in keeping up with the action.
Yep.
Yeah, isn't that a trademark of a great match? Is you go in, you think like, well, I mean, New Day is going to retain because they've been doing this New Day Street Profits thing the whole time leading up to Survivor Series. But then all of a sudden, like you said, Jimmy, I'm like, hang on, I feel like the Hurt Business can win this. And let's give a shout out to Sheldon Alexander, Cedric Alexander. He's so good. And the Hurt Business in general, Shelton Benjamin too, I love these guys. They shone, and I thought that this was very close to being my one as well. That's all I'll say.
The Hurt Business is really making a case to be a new Four Horsemen. But I think MVP is in that J.J. Dillon role as opposed to the Ric Flair role. I'd really like to see Bobby Lashley in the main event and have that U.S. title on somebody else, and Shelton and Cedric with the tag belts. I want to see Bobby Lashley in the main event. I think he deserves to be there. Also, shout out to the New Day for their new tights that feature New Day rocks, but in Schoolhouse Rock fashion with prominent historical figures all over the tights. I love it. There were a couple of moments last night where I really thought the Hurt Business was going to win. A loss for the New Day doesn't hurt them at all. The New Day are still the greatest tag team, of the modern era. They're fantastic. But you can tell when they're wrestling each other. Kofi's wrestled Shelton 1 billion times. You can tell that Xavier is kind of in the middle and Cedric's the new kid, and all they kind of want to do is make that new kid look like $1 million, and they're doing it. Cedric looks amazing, and it's just a matter of time before and I like that combo of Cedric the new kid and Shelton the old man. I love a combo like that, power and speed together. I love everything about it, and it's just a matter of time until the Hurt Business wins those tag titles.
Sorry, Sergio. I was gonna say I loved the angle slam by Shelton, and then the throwback to the world's greatest tag team with Team Angle. I thought that was awesome. Go ahead, Jimmy.
No, I love those little retro throwbacks that they do, and Nug mentioned old man. I wish I was an old man like Shelton Benjamin. Let me just
Shelton Benjamin is power and speed by himself. He was a heavyweight wrestler in Minnesota, and he was on the track team. Like, you don't have heavyweights on the track team. And actually, Kofi and Shelton have a long rivalry of athletic. They were always, everyone was kind of egging it on.
Did you ever?
Who's the most athletic of the two?
Did you ever witness the sprint races that they'd had?
I did somewhere, but it was indoor.
Yeah.
And to leave with a little bit of trivia just for this particular moment, Shelton Benjamin is the only person in collegiate wrestling to have a win over his roommate at the University of Minnesota, Brock Lesnar.
Wow.
So that tells you how good Shelton Benjamin is. Guys, what are your wins this week? Do you agree with what we have? Get a hold of us on Twitter. Use the hashtag AskAftermath if you have any questions, recipes, life advice at all. And make sure to tag Jimmy Corderas because he loves reading your tweets. Guys, stay tuned. We've got fails coming up. We're going to talk old school Survivor Series teams, and we've got trivia by me. Is it hard?